Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to another edition of Triad Today. Coming up later on, our infamous Roundtable convenes and we'll see what those guys have to say, but stay tuned for that. But between now and then, some great guests and important information coming your way. For one thing, we'll tell you about some careers that are available for you at Cross North School and Children's Home. It's a great group of folks out there. We'll tell you all about that. Also, we'll have some tips on good dental health. And the good folks from Daggett Schuler will stop by with a very special guest to tell you about a 5K run coming up that's going to benefit a very special cause. All that and much more. But first we turn our attention to international things. And next to me is a lady of the world, and we're going to meet her right now. Stephanie Guzman is the International Programming Coordinator for the International Program Center at UNCG. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about the big international festival coming up in just a minute. I'm going to show this t-shirt and everything, but first, for those that don't know, what is the International Program Center all about? What's the mission? Who does it serve?
Sure. So International Program Center, or IPC as we call it, is the place for all things international at UNCG. We serve everyone from interested students who would like to study abroad to our incoming study abroad students, so students from all over the world. We actually represent 92 countries on our campus currently.
Wow.
So we have degree-seeking students who matriculate and fulfill a full degree, and we also have visiting scholars. So we serve all of those populations, and we also help faculty and staff get abroad themselves and find some funding for that. So,
good grief. And you know, one thing I was reading in an email from you and from Eden, I think it was too, is that you might be new to your exact position, but you're certainly not new to this program and what it represents and what you did. Tell me about your experiences with that early on with the program and how it sort of informed your commitment.
Sure. I actually chose to come to UNCG because of this exact office. When I was taking the tour, they told me about how great the exchange program was, and I knew that I wanted to study abroad for a full year. And so through this program, I was actually able to do that. All my credits came back, and I studied a year in Spain, in Toledo, Spain. It was a great experience.
Why Spain? Why Spain?
I was interested in acquiring Spanish as a second language. So I studied Spanish and anthropology, and it kind of just nicely fit into this year-long experience of me going abroad. I came back. I was a volunteer at the International Program Center, and I loved it. I love international education, so I just stayed committed. Ended up starting to work full-time in July of 2016. I've just been there ever since.
So it got in your blood, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Let's talk about the International Festival. Tell me about that, when it is, where it is, and what we'll see.
Sure. So International Festival is one of UNCG's largest and longest running events. We're in our 36th year. It's going to be on April 14th, which is a Saturday, and the festival will run from 12 to 5. And if you come to the festival at any point in the day, you're going to see 70 booths that represent different countries, cultures, and we'll also have some organizations from the community and from UNCG that will be there to give some information. And you'll also be able to see the many dance and singing performances. We have everything from really exciting K-pop performances. UNCG Jalwa does Bollywood dance. So we kind of got the whole span out there.
So you'll go to each of these booths and there's going to be different cultures represented to sort of find out what they're like, right?
Right, and you'll actually get a passport that you can take and kind of travel all the way around the world in 80 minutes or so. And
yeah, 80 minutes. Now, is this, when we talk about it's on campus, is there a specific place on campus?
Yes, it's going to be on the lawn of the EUC, the Elliott University Center, also referred to as the Kaplan Commons.
Kaplan Commons. I'm going to hold up this t-shirt because this is lovely. You can buy this at the festival, or if you're one of the volunteers who're working so hard out there, you'll get one for free. But I hope you'll go there. I hope you'll buy this. I want to put up on screen again the information that Stephanie mentioned. UNCG International Festival, Saturday, April 14th, 12 noon to 5 p.m. at the Kaplan Commons. I want to put up the website as well, uncg.edu, uncg.edu. I hope everybody will attend this, and I'm so proud of what you're doing and what you have done, and you're just a real asset to the community and to the university.
Thanks.
All right.
IPC
Let me know how it goes.
Yes, we will. Thank you. Hope to see you there.
Okay. I'm going to go put my t-shirt on. We'll be right back after this. Back now on Triad Today, and I'm really glad to get one of these special guests back. We've seen him about a year ago, and our good friends at Daggett Schuler have dragged him here in the studio so we can talk again about a very important cause. Next to me, of course, on the immediate right, David Daggett, attorney with Daggett Schuler. But he and Griff have brought a special guest, a returning guest. Dr. McNeil Cronin is a board member of the Piedmont Down Syndrome Support Network and a parent. And Griff Schuler, of course, attorney with Daggett Schuler. Welcome, guys. Good to see you again.
Thanks for having me.
Jim.
How you been doing, McNeil?
Been doing great. Thanks for having me back again.
Let's just explain to folks who may not know, what is the support network all about? What's the mission?
So the Piedmont Down Syndrome Support Network is an organization here in the Piedmont that provides support and information to individuals with Down syndrome and to their families. It's there from diagnosis, whether that's at birth or prenatally, all the way into adulthood. And it's there to provide a sense of community and a sense of support to these families in our community.
And why your personal interest?
My wife and I got involved 5 years ago when we had our first child, a little girl named Quinn, who was born with Down syndrome. And the support network was there immediately, providing support and resources to us and introducing us to this community that really made us feel at home and at ease, and it helped a lot.
People look at you and say, hey, you're a doctor, you know everything, why would you need support? Because you know it, but you don't in that situation.
It can be overwhelming and it can be filled with anxiety. That diagnosis comes with a lot of fear. And you realize after time and after support and learning more that a lot of that fear is unnecessary and that what you've really gotten is a wonderful blessing. And the support network helps you realize that.
David, there's a big event coming up on March 24th. How are you involved in this?
Well, I met McNeil a number of years ago. One of my cousins, my favorite cousin, has Down syndrome, and there's an immediate connection with us. And he asked me if I would announce and MC the event,
Right.
and I said absolutely.
Right.
And it very quickly became one of my favorite days of the entire year.
And it's called the 321 Deacon Dash.
It's the 321 Deacon Dash for Down syndrome. We've got great support from Wake Forest Athletic Department. The athletes and coaches come out and cheer on the runners. We call them the honorary ambassadors of the race.
Right.
And great support from the community. This community has always been one that values acceptance and inclusion of people with Down syndrome.
Well, Griff, speaking of support, why are fundraising events like this so important, do you think?
I think a lot of it is engagement and fun. It's a way through a 5K like this to engage the outside community. It allows the volunteers that are already involved with the community an opportunity to come together again, and I think it's just a lot of fun. It's fun being able to come together and being able to run. I mean, we can all kind of try to go run a 5K on our own, but being able to be involved with people like McNeil and his group and make that 5K, that run that day, a special 5K, I think that's great.
Right. McNeil, is there any one thing you might want to share with us? Because there's probably 50 things you'd like to share with us, but with the time allotted, something maybe that you'd like people to know that maybe they don't understand about Down syndrome.
I think that people with Down syndrome bring such value to our community. They bring such value to our world. They're filled with love and kindness. And I would encourage everyone to come out to this race and introduce yourself to an individual with Down syndrome in our community. Gerber Baby just announced that their poster baby is a baby with Down syndrome. I really feel that the society at large is beginning to accept and include individuals with Down syndrome in a way that they never have before, and we're so excited about that.
They're the happiest and most loving individuals you ever meet.
Yeah.
My arms get sore from giving hugs. I just love it.
I bet. Up on screen, Saturday, March 24th is 8:30 is the fun run, 9 o'clock is the 5K race, and as David reminds us on so many occasions, because he's a great athlete, you don't have to be a great athlete, you just show up and support it. This is the fairgrounds, right?
Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, March 24th.
March 24th.
Everybody gets a championship reception at the finish line.
Oh, wow. And up on screen also, PDSSN for the supportgroup.org. That'll get you information on that, and DaggettSchulerLaw.com is up on screen with their phone number as well. Guys, I appreciate, as always, I know people maybe get tired of hearing this, but I appreciate what you and Griff do for the community, and McNeil, what you're doing with the support group. Thanks, guys. Right, today, two lovely ladies here with us that I want to meet for the first time and talk with about a very important topic, and it could be one that could lead to a career for someone watching today, so let's get right to it. On my immediate right, Jenny Taylor is what we call the Chief People Officer for Cross North School and Children's Home. Next to her, Amber Matthews is Assistant Director of Residential Services. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
What is, we didn't plan to do this. What does Chief People Officer mean?
Chief People Officer is a role that really helps guide staff, but also it's more than just being human resources.
Oh, yeah,
it is really around the culture of the children's home,
Sure.
Crossville School and Children's Home, and just really building culture along with building people.
Well, that makes sense, and that brings me to the question I wanted to start with, which is just for people who tuned in and didn't see some of our earlier segments. Very quickly, just give sort of a summary of what Crossnor is and what our mission is.
Sure. Crossville School and Children's Home is a children and family services provider, and we, in the Winston area, we deal primarily with 3 types of services. There is residential. We have a residential foster care program on our campus. We have community-based foster care and also clinical services.
Now, before I get to Amber, Jenny, I want to ask you one other thing. What career opportunities are available now at Crossnor? Just give me some brief idea.
Sure. Cottage parents, foster care supervisors. We have also some open positions for our day treatment program to work as a counselor in our day treatment program as well.
Now, Amber, describe the role of a cottage parent.
Absolutely. In our residential foster care program that we have in Winston-Salem and also in our Avery campus, we have group living. So we have up to 9 children living in a house at one time. And we have 2 sets of cottage parents that work 7 days on, 7 days off, and they do everything that a parent would do. They wake kids up, take them to school, pick them up from school, take them to appointments, make sure that they're getting their homework done, attend parent-teacher conferences, and just be a part of that natural support.
Well, you know, this is fascinating to me. Now, what if somebody's watching and has an interest in this, of becoming a cottage parent, what qualifications, what kind of character, what are you looking for in a cottage parent?
Yeah, we look for people who really have a passion for helping children, but also understand that all of the kids that we interact with and deal with and have in our program are traumatized in some sort of way. They've been a result of trauma, and they're not placed with us for any reason that they have done on their own, but for what other adults have done either to them or have not been in a stable environment, so they have come to live with us. So really understanding and being empathetic towards the kids, but also having a really good professional parenting role. Because it's hard because these aren't our children and we're just kind of being a surrogate parent for them and taking care of them while their biological families cannot.
So I'm just curious about, we talked about qualifications and everything, but suppose I've been a parent and my kids have grown, moved away out of the house, I'm alone in the house, and I call up and say, Amber, Jenny, my kids are gone, they're grown, but I think I was a pretty good parent. Would I be a good cottage parent candidate?
Yes, sir, absolutely. We're really interested in hiring single people and married couples, and we're also really interested in hiring some minority couples as well.
Because you want the diversity of age, race, ethnicity, everything, because that's your mix of the kids too.
Absolutely.
All right, look, before we lose time, Jenny, do you offer benefits packages to somebody who wants to be a cottage parent?
Yes, we offer a full range of benefits. We're really proud of the benefits that we offer. Whether someone's coming in as a brand new employee or if they're coming in later on in their career, we really have a great benefits package.
All right, as we wrap up, let's show something on screen because I'm going to put the website up, Jenny, and I'm assuming if we go to this website, crossnor.org, and for our radio audience, I'll say it again, www.crossnor.org, they can get some more information, get to you, and find out how to apply?
Yes, they can. All of our positions are listed out there.
All right. Thanks, ladies, for doing this, and I appreciate all you do to help the kids, too, really, seriously.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back after this. On Triad Today, and I tell you a topic that we can't do enough of, but this is, honestly, this is the first time we've done it, and that's dental health. Dental health, and so I've called on an expert to come in here and give us some help on this. Next to me is our good friend, Dr. Nick Capehart. He's with Ardmore Dentistry. He is Ardmore Dentistry. And I appreciate you taking time to come and see us.
Yes, sir. Pleasure to be here.
All right. Now, we all know that dentists look after our teeth, but I was looking at some information on your website, on your email that you sent me the other night, and really, you and your team are focused on a lot more. There's more to it that's very important that you look after.
Well, that's a good point. People think, generally dentists just worry about teeth, the white stuff in your mouth. Well, for me in our practice, I think there's 2 really important things I worry about, and that's number one, making sure that there's stuff in your mouth not supposed to be there. And kind of what I'm talking about is oral cancer.
Sure.
And anybody that comes in, we sit there and we see what the problem is.
Right.
But first of all, I want to make sure that there's nothing there that's going to potentially kill you.
Right, and I've had friends who've had dentists were the ones that caught oral cancers before because they think, well, I'm going in because I'm getting see if I have a cavity or something, but actually you're going to check other things too. And it can be life-saving for you to do those exams.
Yeah, just right before Christmas, we had a guy, routine patient, been there, you come for a 6-month checkup, and I saw something a little suspicious, started asking him about it. One thing led to another, ended up getting him to somebody that deals with lesions in the mouth.
Right.
And ended up being cancer. And thankfully, we caught it early enough. He was able just to treat it surgically. We didn't have to do any radiation, chemotherapy. It's great.
I just think that's great. Now, there are so common infections too that occur that you might spot just on a routine exam, right?
Well, so, you look at it, systemic diseases, problems, issues, a lot of those can appear in the mouth along with other places or early on. And you look at things, the monovirus. There's very specific things that can appear in the mouth, the throat specifically, that you can spot there, and it kind of leads you to an early diagnosis of what's going on.
Yeah.
And then other systemic problems we worry about that's really kind of a hot topic today are things like sleep apnea.
Sleep apnea.
And with medicine in general, we're really starting to look at the airway and how people breathe and how certain things affect the airway. And, everywhere you see on TV, there's something for a CPAP, something to treat sleep apnea.
Sure.
You talk about dental devices that do certain treatments for sleep apnea.
And a lot of these things, you can be like the first line of defense for us when we're sitting there getting the exam and you're fighting some of these things, which brings me to this question that I want to ask you about. I commonly hear that we should see a dentist for a checkup every 6 months. Is that still the case?
Yeah, you hear that all the time. And I always I ask people sometimes, where does that number come from? Where did 6 months originate from?
Right.
We just pull a number out of the sky, hey, I want to see this guy twice a year, I don't want to see him any more than that, it annoys me.
Right.
So it actually, if you look at general across the spectrum of people, you develop plaque in your mouth, that's what your hygienists take care of when you're in there.
Right, do the cleaning.
Well, it takes a certain amount of time from when that plaque starts to accumulate on your teeth to the point it starts to get hard, and that's the point where a toothbrush can't get it off anymore.
Right.
And in general, that calcification process takes approximately 6 months.
Now, see, I learned something. I figured there was a reason I was going in there. Okay, well, that's good. Now, if somebody wants to make an appointment or get more information about some of these topics we hit on, I want to do something here. I want to put up a phone number and a website. 336 is the area code, of course. 760-9840 is the phone number to Ardmore Dentistry. 760-9840. I'll repeat that for the radio audience. And also the website is wsdentist.com. We have a few seconds left. Let me ask you this very briefly. Why did you go into dentistry?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know that I've really got a great answer. But, I grew up on a farm, always great with my hands. And, my parents took care of everything, anything that was broken we fixed ourselves. I was really good with my hands, but also, I thought I might entertain some ideas of medicine. And I honestly went to the dentist one day and was kind of like, hey, what do you do? He said, come back, watch me. I came back, he started doing some things, and I was like, you know what, I believe I could probably do that.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And since then,
you don't do dentistry on farm animals, do you?
Oddly enough.
Well, you don't have to answer that question. We'll continue that discussion later on because it's an interesting topic anyway. Hey, Nick, thanks for being
yes,
here.
Yes, sir. Pleasure.
Thanks for all you do to keep people healthy, too. Seriously.
Doing my part.
All right. We'll be right back after this. Now on Triad Today, I don't know why it took me by surprise. But we're ready. We're ready to go for the roundtable. Before we do that, a shout out to Keith Granberry, a good buddy. He's still under the weather, and we wish him well, and we hope it doesn't make him sicker watching this program. I guess that could happen. Next to me on my right, but always the political left, Ogie Overman, that great broadcaster journalist. Next to him, my friend of 140 years, great broadcaster, chairman of the County Commissioners in Forsyth County, Dave Blyler. And Dave is a powerful force in Forsyth County. Speaking of powerful, a man with a gun. That's why I always compliment him. B.J. Barnes, Sheriff of Guilford County, and buy his new book. It's a great book. Okay, guys, let's talk about this mall violence. Now, we've talked about this before when it happened in other cities. But now it started happening more and more in this area, in the state, and of course Haynes Mall had an incident. Now Haynes Mall's decided that they're going to put this weekend curfew in effect. After 5 p.m., anybody under 18 has to be accompanied by an adult. Good idea or bad idea, Ogie?
I don't think it's going to work. I mean, mall business is down already. That's going to kill it. We've talked about it before. But that's just going to kill. You keep teenagers out of malls, you're going to kill it.
But Dave, do they even buy anything?
I don't know if they buy anything, but if I own the mall and I had to be responsible for the people's safety there, I'd do exactly the same thing. It may not work, but if you don't try it, you'll never know.
Curfew, good idea or bad idea, Sheriff?
Enforcement nightmare. Who's gonna go up to and look at some of these folks and say, are you 17, 18, are you 19, what are you?
Will they have to put a police force on to check IDs or something?
Police force can't just check an ID. They have to have a reason to.
I did not know that. Okay. Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn wants to cancel gun shows that take place at the city-owned Coliseum. Gun show operators say she can't do that. That's restricting commerce. Could be a legal battle ahead. Who wins this battle, Ogie?
It looks to me like the bottom line is that, and I applaud her for it, I mean, it's a symbolic gesture. It's not going to stop gun violence. But the city owns the Coliseum. The city has the right to say who plays there and who doesn't, period.
All
Bottom
right.
line.
Dave.
Well, you're going to have people on both sides of the issue, but I agree with the mayor. She needs to give an example of leadership, and this is more than an example. She's doing it.
Sheriff.
Cars kill more people than guns. What are you going to do? Stop the car show next?
I guess you could stop anything, but that brings up the question of civil rights and rights of commerce and everything.
Exactly.
It's a difficult thing. Very quickly, Duke Energy CEO Lynn Good, the woman who wants consumers to pay for the spill of coal ash, received a 55% pay raise, guys, bringing her salary to $21.4 million. That's 180 times what her average top-level employees make. Should the state cap salaries that are paid to utility executives who we regulate, Ogie?
You know, I think it's time to do that, since that is a
Is that your phone going off?
not
Whose
mine.
phone is that? Dave, is that your phone going off?
I don't know.
Well, will you cut the phone off?
I'm leaving mine in my car.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's outrageous. That is just criminal.
I think that was the Duke Energy CEO calling Dave just now.
Say, what's your answer, right?
Yeah. So, Dave, be careful what you say. Go ahead.
I'd like to make the kind of money she's making for what she's doing.
Yeah. BJ.
I'd like for them to put that money towards my bill. I mean,
Yeah.
it keeps
Yeah.
going
Exactly.
up and up and up.
All right. Now, how much time we have, Brian? Okay. Brian's going to call in and tell us how much time we have. A California state lawmaker has been told to stop hugging people because it makes them feel uncomfortable. And he hugs men and women, but they laid the law down to him. Should legislators be reprimanded for hugging? Ogie.
I don't think so. That's just we're taking it too far. I mean, I'm a hugger. You know that.
Yeah.
I hug all the time.
Dave.
Listen, they're doing stuff now going back 40 and 50 years.
Yeah.
Lord knows what would happen to Ogie Overman if they did that.
No, that's right. Well, Dave, you hug people at the county commissioners meeting, don't you?
No.
Sheriff.
I agree with Ogie. I mean, I'm telling you, this is getting ridiculous. I
Yeah.
mean, if you don't like it, then say so, and it won't happen
And
again.
it won't happen. Over 700,000 people have signed a petition to create a national holiday in honor of Reverend Billy Graham. Critics say this would be improper because Graham, as great a man as he seemed to have been, sought to convert people to a particular faith, mixing government and religion. Are you okay with a holiday for Billy Graham? Ogie.
I'm not necessarily against it on separation of church and state grounds, because Reverend Martin Luther King has a holiday.
Right.
But I don't think Billy Graham is quite the national figure that did quite as much for society as, say, MLK.
Mr. Plyler.
I disagree with Ogie. He not only did for society, he did it globally. He was known all across the world. In fact, the Queen of England, as she sits today, was one of his great followers.
But for conversion of Christianity, whereas MLK was really acting on for economic rights and civil rights. BJ.
Yeah, but so was Billy Graham. He was talking about different things like that, and like Dave said, it's globally. I don't have any problem with it.
All right. Meanwhile, Congressman Mark Walker, our friend, introduced a bill that would name a Greensboro post office for the late Howard Coble. Quickly, guys, do you have a problem with that? Or is that okay, Ogie?
That may be the only thing I'll ever agree with Mark Walker on. Yeah, no problem there.
All right, Dave.
I think they ought to do it, and they ought to put bricks or colored tiles to match his coat.
Yeah,
Different go. BJ.
I couldn't agree more. He deserves it.
Good idea. Finally, guys, the Kansas City Royals baseball team, we all follow baseball, has hired an expert to talk to the players about the dangers of watching pornography. Guys, do grown men need to be told what porn is? Ogie.
That's such a waste of time. I'd hate to be teaching that class to it in a major league locker room. Do something constructive like the dangers of steroids or sexual harassment or something.
Yeah, Dave.
The President of the United States recognizes that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what he recognizes. BJ.
Supreme Court can't even decide what porn is.
Yeah.
And also, they need to be talking to them about domestic violence and that type of thing to go along with what
I think they're telling these guys how to get to first base. I think that the whole lecture. All right, well, that's
Good,
all.
yeah.
No, that's just happened. You notice Ogie's tie. Lori, did we see Ogie's
St.
tie?
Patrick's
St.
Day,
Patrick's
Jim.
Day?
St. Patrick's
Yeah,
Day.
top of the morning to you there, Ogie. All right, so anyway, finally, I want to mention this. Merriam-Webster just announced that the word mansplain, has been added to their new dictionary. Now, quote, a dictionary is a book with words, Webster explained to Miriam. I don't even know who they are. All right, for all of us here at Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next time.